This is not your normal mile and an eighth race. Most mile and an eighth races in the US, they follow the same blueprint, 2 turns, and based on a projected pace, a certain type of horse fits that setup. The Virginia Derby throws out that blueprint completely. This is a 1-turn mile and an eighth, something you most never see. And that changes how you should evaluate the race. How will you find your winner? Facts and figures are going to give you the winning edge. I give you the stats, you make the picks. I'm Maura from Trifecta and a little bit extra, and I've been involved in horse racing, analyzing races, and as a share owner for the past 16 years. In this video, we're talking everything Virginia Derby, Saturday, March 14th at Colonial Downs. 10 contenders, a mile and an eighth on the dirt, and 50 Kentucky Derby points on the line. I'm going to tell you all about this configuration, and we're going to go horse by horse to see who really fits. But first, I must remind you this. Horse betting is not legal in every state, so if you're betting, make sure it's legal. Now, let's talk race architecture. This track is really unique. Every now and again, we talk about those 1-turn miles, but this is so different. This track has a 1.25 miles circumference, which makes this a 1-turn mile and an eighth. Now that's really unusual, and it's important because in a 1-turn race, horses have that long straightaway outside the gate. If you're drawn outside, that's okay. You've got time. You could settle and find position and you could ease over before you ever hit that turn. Now down the backstretch, horses are not scrambling to get into position like they would in a 2-turn race. They're building that speed gradually. And that kind of setup can really favor a stalker, a horse with tactical speed who sits right off that leader. And in these races, you tend to see sustained energy win, sustained pace. Now contrast that to a 2-turn mile and an eighth. The horses have to get very aggressive early. They've got to secure position quickly. And often you see that big late move with someone trying to circle the field. So what kind of runner are we looking for here? We're looking for tactical horses, horses with speed that carries, speed that lasts, horses that can sustain a run, not just close, those that maintain the pace throughout the race. And with that in mind, let's look at the contenders. If this race needs that fuel, Buetane is bringing it. This is a Bob Baffert trainee, and he's the only contender in the field to have a Beyer speed figure over 90. Now that was in January in the G2 San Vicente, Santa Anita going 7 furlongs. A 1-turn race. He bumped into So Happy leaving the gate. He went wide and he finished second with a 92 Beyer. Now next time out was the G3 Southwest at Oaklawn going 1 1/16 miles. In this race, he was much closer to the leader at the start, only a half a length behind at the half pole. Now he showed that tactical speed we are looking for, but it did trail off in the stretch. And he finished third with an 82 Beyer. The question's going to be, will it trail off even more now that we're going the 1 1/8 miles distance? Having the 1 turn may help his momentum. His pedigree, his sire, 'tis the law, says that this horse is a router, but the damn sire did better at distances 1 1/16 miles and less. Now he's third off the layoff, looking to improve and looking to win his first stakes race. He's been in 3 graded stakes races up against some classy company like Silent Tactic and Ted Nafi, so he brings the class. The other thing I'm going to point out is this. Look at his workouts. He's working 6 furlongs at 112 and 111, and that is impressive. Speed, tactical running style, class, my opinion, elite top contender. Although there are some that I like more. You don't get named Grittiness for nothing. And he's one of the few in this field who's been through the grind going this distance. He not only has gone this distance once, but twice. Shipping in from New York is Grittiness. In December, Grittiness was in the G2 Remsen, this distance at Aqueduct. Now his running style that day, not really what we're looking for. He was 5 lengths off the leader at the half pole. He chased the leader wide in the backstretch, but then tucked himself in at the turn. Then he went really wide again in the final stretch. He was able to pass some tiring horses, but he finished 5th. Not really an eye-catching performance. Next up was the Withers, also 1 1/8 miles at Aqueduct. and again was way off the leader, 9 lengths off the leader at the half pole. Not what we're looking for. But he did show a sustained drive and finished second. The problem with both of these, outside of the fact of his running style, is really the speed. 71 and 66 Beyer speed ratings. That kind of speed, not going to cut it here. And he's still a maiden, meaning he has yet to win the race. I'm not sure I see his first win against this field. For me, I'm going to pass on Grittiness. If you're finding value in these insights, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more race analysis like this, especially as we're heading into those 100-point Derby prep races, hit subscribe. Now back to the contenders. Sometimes it's all about the desire to win, and our next horse will be guided by one of the top jockeys here at Colonial Downs. It's Epic Desire. Now he took 5 tries to break his maiden, meaning win for the very first time. When he did, it was in a $32,000 maiden special weight, going 1 mile and 40 yards at Tampa Bay. But looking back that day, you have to ask, who did he really beat? The horses that have run again haven't really wowed. His next race was the Sam F. Davis, also at Tampa Bay, going 1 mile and 1/16. Now at the start, he brushed another horse. He tries to save ground going to the inside. He angles to the 3 path around that far turn, and he finishes 5th, but the notes say no kick, 78 Beyer. That's the second time I've seen in the notes, no kick. Although he has that running style I'm looking for, the light speed ratings, the no kick notes, the fact his only win came with Lasix against horses that didn't really wow, all tell me I desire a bit more. For me, Epic Desire is a pass. They say hard work pays off. For our next contender, it did take 4 starts, but it finally did. We're talking about Work. Work is shipping from California. Now, he finally got his win last time out after 4 other tries. He tried 3 races on the turf, and he tried this distance on the turf back in November. But in a 12-horse field, he finished 11th with a very light speed rating of a 44 Beyer. His next 2 tries were sprints, 6 and 6.5 furlongs. His best Beyer rating was a 67. Last race, he did win that race, but very light Beyer. Now maybe you're thinking, hey, he's switching to the dirt, he could be better. Well, his last 2 dirt tries don't inspire either. He was up against some classy horses. Provenance, Mr. AP, Cherokee Nation. The top finish was 5th and a 49 Beyer speed rating. Now his notes like Epic Desire say weakened, turned away, retreated. For me, Work is going to be a pass. The next horse, his trainer says, man, he is consistent. He shows up every week and does everything the right way. High Camp enters in for Will Walden, and this is also a horse with heart, and I love a horse with heart. In his last race, going 7 furlongs, main special weight at Gulfstream, now he got passed in that final turn, and guess what? He fought back. His stretch run showed momentum, determination, exactly what we're looking for. He gets the win with an 85 Beyer, and the horse he beat was a solid Chad Brown trainee, Growth Equity. His trainer said that when you get him out in the clear, you give him some room, he makes a very strong run, and I like it. His running style is tactical, another selling point for me. The question's going to be, can he get the distance? His races, 6 furlongs and 7 furlongs. Now he's by Instagram, whose sire is Into Mischief, so you would think that the stamina is there. Plus, let's remember, this is a 1-turn race, so even if 1 mile and 1/8 is stretching it, this 1-turn race, he may have a better shot. And Johnny Velasquez stays as his rider, has been on him twice, knows this horse. His speed ratings are improving, and with only 2 starts, man, they can improve even more. For me, elite top contender. Our next horse is undefeated in 2 starts. Both were at Turfway on the synthetic. Lockstocknpharoah has something I'm looking for. Sustained energy throughout that race. Now he won his maiden going 6 furlongs by 2 lengths and a 74 Beyer. His second race in February was a mile in a state restricted allowance race. He won by 8 lengths and 82 Beyer speed rating. So a couple things to note about that race. On synthetic, first time Lasix, and strength of the field was questionable, but this horse fits this race in my opinion. Sustained energy, improving speed, both tactical and front-running style, so versatile. Can he get the extra distance? He's by American Pharoah, Dam Sire's Nyquist. You think he should be able to. Plus this race, just a one-turn race. Would the synthetic translate over to the dirt? Well, typically yes for here, as long as the running style fits. This surface, really not deep and tiring. And his trainer gives us some insights though. Said he trained him at Churchill Downs on the dirt last summer. His jockey said, man, in that last workout, he could have sat there all day long. For me, elite top contender. Now we have a few more interesting contenders to review, but I want to tell you about something special. If you'd like access behind what's public here on YouTube, I'm creating a private email list. It's where I'm going to share select updates, invitations to private events, and behind the scenes perspectives as I continue to grow the channel. To subscribe, go to subscribe.trifectaandextra.com or use the QR code on the screen. Oh, and something to note, if you do go through and subscribe, make sure you open up the email that I send you and hit that confirm button because that officially gets you on the list. Now to our next horse. Incredibolt, he did not exactly explode in his 3-year-old debut, but he's coming back with something to prove. In 4 starts, he had 2 wins. One was $120,000 maiden special weight going a mile, and then the other was a Kentucky Derby prep race, the G3 Street Sense at Churchill Downs, mile and a 16th. Now he got his best buyer speed rating there in 82, but the horses he beat, they have not come back and wowed, so field is questionable. But then came his 3-year-old debut, the G3 Holy Bull at Gulfstream. The notes say he just retreated. He finished last, 25 lengths behind 58 buyer. Ouch. After the race, the jockey said he didn't feel like the horse really liked the surface at all. And there's been no signs of anything other than that since that race. He's not missed a single work. His trainer said, man, the tighter surface here at Colonial Downs, that could be better for him. And while that may be the case, and the trainer has a 22% win rate second off the layoff, I really don't like the fact in the street sense he was 5 lengths off the leader at the half pole. That is not the tactical running style I'm looking for here. He needs to be more tactical, just like he did in his maiden race. If he could do that, and if he could forget the Holy Bull ever happened, wild card threat. Confessional? He's got something to get off his chest. He had 2 excellent starts. Very first race, wins by 3 in a 7-furlong race at Keeneland, 85 buyer. Then he makes his 3-year-old debut at Gulfstream in an allowance optional claimer, also 7 furlongs. He finishes second to get this, nearly is one of the top contenders on the Derby Trail, 88 buyer speed rating. 1 month later though, he competes in the Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay Downs, going a mile and a 16th. He stalked, he saved ground, but he faded, and he gets a 73 buyer and 7th place finish. Now last week we discussed at the Tampa Bay Derby that Tampa's got this very unique surface, sandy, tiring, so that may be his excuse there. And he was kind of stuck on the rail the whole time with no place to go. And it was his only race without blinkers. Blinkers are going back on. He's got a bullet work leading into this race. He's got that right stalking style and the speed. Elite win contender, in my opinion. Ocelli hasn't taken that final step and won a race, but he's been right there. 4 starts, 3 times on the board, but no wins. He's trained by Whit Bettman and has faced some really good horses in his career. Reagan's Honor, Renegade, the Puma, but the races, they have not been kind to him. He's had to go wide. He's drifted. And in the last 2 races, the notes say weakened and flattened. His best buyer speed rating was a 78. That doesn't make him competitive here. But there are a few things to like. You go to his mile and a 16th maiden race at the fairgrounds. Now he had to go 6 wide and he rallied to finish second. and he's got that tactical running style I'm looking for. Now, he would need to take a major step forward here, get a better trip, but I would say he could be a threat in this race, especially to hit the board. And speaking of hitting the board, this horse has a habit of hitting the board, but winning at this level, different conversation. Coming from post position 10, Clocker Special. Now, Clocker Special won second time out at Ellis Park, going 6.5 furlongs in July. He stalks, he gets the win, 71 Beyer. Then he makes his 3-year-old debut, optional claimer allowance race, going 1 1/16. He stalks again and loses to Honey's to Blame by a neck, 72 Beyer. This race seems both like a big class jump, and he's going to need a big speed jump to do well. For me, Clocker Special is a pass. Now it's time to hear from you. Remember, this is a channel that's a community. So go ahead and drop me a comment below and tell me, who do you like in the Virginia Derby and why. Share this video with your friends. Let them know that this community is here, especially if they're new fans to horse racing. Also, make sure, if you haven't done so, you hit that like button and subscribe. So much more as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby. I hope you all find your winner on Saturday and sashay away with your money. Until next time, cheers.